The massive Starship U.S. celestial horizon gleamed against the darkness of Earth's orbital shipyard, its titanium carbon alloy hull reflecting the soft blue light of distant solar panels. Captain Joe Park stood on the bridge, his weathered hands gripping the command console with a mixture of anticipation and responsibility that came from knowing the fate of 50,000 human souls rested on his decisions. The ship was humanity's last great hope. Earth had become increasingly uninhabitable, with rising sea levels, extreme climate shifts, and dwindling resources pushing civilization to its breaking point. This wasn't just another exploration mission. It was a desperate attempt to ensure human survival. Chief Engineer Hannah Kim's voice crackled through the ship's communication system. Final systems check complete, Captain. Quantum fold drive is online and stable. Her fingers danced across holographic interfaces, running diagnostics that would determine whether 50,000 humans would live or die in the cold vacuum of space. Wu Li, the navigation officer, calculated their initial trajectory with meticulous precision. His screens displayed complex mathematical models, potential routes through uncharted star systems that might offer a new home for humanity. Each calculation represented hope, a potential planet where humans could restart civilization. The ship's interior was a marvel of engineering. Massive rotating habitat rings would provide artificial gravity, preventing muscle atrophy and bone density loss during their potentially decades-long journey. Hydroponic gardens, genetic seed banks, and advanced recycling systems ensured the crew could survive independently from any external support. Captain Park remembered the selection process. Thousands of the world's best minds had competed for these limited spots. Scientists, engineers, doctors, farmers, teachers, each person carefully chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to work together in the most challenging environment imaginable. Launch sequence initiated, announced Wu Li, his voice calm despite the immense pressure. The ship's quantum fold drive hummed to life, a sound that was more felt than heard. Massive electromagnetic fields began to envelope the vessel, preparing to bend the very fabric of space-time. This wasn't traditional rocket propulsion. This was cutting-edge technology that could potentially traverse light years in moments. Hannah Kim monitored the quantum stabilizers, her hand steady. Years of research, billions in funding, and the collective dreams of an entire planet were concentrated in this single moment. One miscalculation could mean total destruction. Captain Park took a deep breath. All systems, report. Structural integrity, 100%. Life support, fully operational. Quantum drive, optimal configuration. The shipyard around them seemed to hold its breath. Millions watched the live transmission. Humanity's collective hope focused on this singular moment of potential rebirth. With a subtle shift that felt almost imperceptible, the U.S. celestial horizon began to move. Its massive form glided away from Earth's orbital infrastructure, each meter of distance representing humanity's most ambitious journey. Inside the habitat rings, families settled into their designated living quarters. Children who would potentially never see Earth looked out of reinforced windows, watching their home planet become a small blue dot. Generations would live and die on this ship, their entire existence dedicated to finding a new world. The ship's artificial intelligence, nicknamed ARIA, began its continuous monitoring protocols. Complex algorithms predicted potential challenges, calculated resource management, and maintained a constant watch over the 50,000 human lives contained within its protective shell. As they prepared to engage the quantum fold drive for their first major jump, Captain Joe Park reflected on the weight of their mission. This wasn't just a scientific expedition. It was a testament to human resilience, innovation, and the unbreakable spirit of exploration. The stars ahead seemed to shimmer with possibility, waiting to reveal the secrets of a universe that humanity was about to explore like never before. With a silent prayer and unwavering determination, Captain Park gave the final command. Engage quantum fold drive. Let's find our new home. And so began humanity's most incredible journey. 3 weeks into their deep space journey, the U.S. Celestial horizon drifted through an unexplored sector of the galaxy. The ship's quantum communication array suddenly erupted with an unusual pattern of electromagnetic pulses that defied standard transmission protocols. Hannah Kim was the first to notice the anomaly. Her screens flickered with strange geometric signals that seemed to pulse with an intelligent rhythm. "Captain," she called out, her voice steady but filled with excitement, "we're receiving something unusual." Captain J. Park moved quickly to her station, studying the intricate wave patterns. The signals weren't random. They had structure, complexity, and a mathematical precision that suggested something beyond natural cosmic radiation. "It's not from any human communication system," Wu Li confirmed, running multiple verification checks. The signal was unlike anything in their extensive database of known transmission types. The ship's advanced AI, began analyzing the transmission. Complex algorithms worked to break down the signal's fundamental components. Each pulse seemed to carry layers of information, like a complex language waiting to be understood. Hannah Kim's expertise in quantum communications became crucial. She isolated specific frequency bands, creating digital filters that might help decode the mysterious transmission. Her fingers moved rapidly across holographic interfaces, reconstructing potential communication patterns. Suddenly, a series of geometric symbols appeared on the main screen. They weren't random shapes, but appeared to represent some form of advanced mathematical language. The symbols shifted and transformed, creating intricate patterns that seemed to suggest intelligent design. "We're detecting a source," Wu Li announced. His navigation screen showed a distant point of origin, approximately 0.3 light-years from their current position. The signal seemed to be coming from a region of space previously marked as empty in human star charts. Captain Park understood the significance of this moment. This could be humanity's first genuine contact with an extraterrestrial civilization. The Cronus Collective, a name that had just appeared in their translation algorithms, represented something entirely unknown. Araya's voice emerged through the ship's speakers. "Preliminary analysis suggests the transmission contains multiple layers of information. Some segments appear to be mathematical equations, while others suggest complex spatial coordinates." Hannah Kim worked tirelessly, creating specialized decryption algorithms. Each breakthrough revealed more about the mysterious signal. The transmission seemed to pulse with an almost musical quality, as if the very mathematics carried an emotional undertone. The ship's crew gathered around the communication station, watching in collective anticipation. Scientists, engineers, and researchers who had trained their entire lives for this moment now witnessed something truly extraordinary. "The signal is repeating," Wu Li observed. "But each repetition contains slight variations. It's like a conversation waiting to be understood." Captain Park recognized the historic nature of this moment. Humanity had sent out countless signals into space, hoping for a response. Now, unexpectedly, something was responding. Something intelligent, something alien. As hours passed, more of the transmission became clear. Fragments of what seemed to be spatial mappings, mathematical constants, and complex geometric representations began to take shape. The Cronus Collective was communicating, but their method of communication was fundamentally different from human language. Hannah Kim's breakthrough came suddenly. A specific algorithm she developed allowed them to recognize patterns within the transmission. The signals weren't just random. They were a deliberate attempt at communication. "We're receiving coordinates," she said, her voice filled with a mixture of scientific precision and human wonder. "And what appears to be an invitation." The bridge fell silent. An invitation from an unknown alien civilization, transmitted across vast, unimaginable distances. This was more than a scientific discovery. This was a potential turning point for human civilization. Captain J. Park looked at his team. They had trained for years, prepared for countless scenarios, but nothing could have prepared them for this moment of first contact. "Continue decoding," he instructed. "We're going to understand what they're saying." The U.S. celestial horizon continued its journey, now with an unexpected companion. A mysterious signal from the Cronus Collective, waiting to be fully understood. Retrieve if the moment of first direct communication arrived unexpectedly. A holographic projection flickered to life on the bridge of the U.S. celestial horizon, revealing a being that defied human understanding of biological form. The alien representative looked like a shimmering collection of interconnected geometric shapes, constantly shifting and reforming. Its communication was simultaneously visual and mathematical, with patterns of light and complex mathematical equations replacing traditional speech. Wu Li worked frantically at the communication console, his fingers dancing across quantum translation algorithms. Each movement of the alien projection required instant mathematical interpretation. The ship's AI, Araya, processed billions of calculations per second, attempting to establish a meaningful dialogue. "We are the Cronus Collective," the transmission suggested, not through words, but through a series of intricate mathematical representations. The message implied more than it directly stated, a communication method that relied on conceptual understanding rather than literal translation. Captain J. Park stood perfectly still, understanding that every micro-reaction could be interpreted as a potential diplomatic signal. Behind him, the bridge crew remained silent, their collective breathing the only human sound in the tense environment. Hannah Kim noticed something unusual. The alien transmission contained multiple layers of communication, mathematical equations that seemed to carry emotional undertones, spatial coordinates that suggested both location and intention, and complex geometric patterns that hinted at technological capabilities far beyond human understanding. The Cronus representative demonstrated their technological superiority through the transmission itself. Each geometric shift revealed advanced quantum communication techniques that made human technology appear primitive by comparison. They weren't just communicating, they were showing their advanced capabilities. Wu Li's translation algorithms began breaking down the complex transmission. What emerged was both fascinating and challenging. The Cronus Collective didn't view communication as a linear process. Their entire method of interaction was a simultaneous multidimensional exchange of information, emotion, and mathematical precision. "They're analyzing us," Hannah whispered. Her instruments showed the alien transmission was collecting data about the human ship, its systems, and potentially its crew. It wasn't an aggressive scan, but a curious scientific examination. Captain Park understood this was a delicate moment. One wrong move could transform this potential peaceful contact into a confrontational situation. Human history was filled with misunderstandings between different cultures, and this was potentially the most significant cultural interaction in human history. The alien projection began showing images, or more accurately, mathematical representations of concepts, star systems, complex quantum interactions, and what seemed to be representations of collective consciousness flickered in rapid succession. Wu Li's translation work revealed something extraordinary. The Cronus Collective didn't see individual beings as separate entities. Their concept of existence was more like a collective consciousness, where individual experiences merged into a unified understanding. "They're offering an exchange," Wu announced, his voice trembling with excitement. Not of technology, but of understanding. The ship's quantum shields subtly adjusted, a silent demonstration of human technological capability. The alien projection responded with a series of complex light patterns, a potential sign of acknowledgement or respect. Hannah Kim realized they were engaged in a communication that transcended traditional diplomatic protocols. This wasn't just a conversation between two species. It was a complex dance of mathematical understanding, technological demonstration, and cultural exploration. Captain Park made a calculated decision. He instructed the ship's holographic systems to project human cultural images, landscapes, scientific achievements, moments of human cooperation and innovation. Not as a boast, but as a genuine attempt at mutual understanding. The alien representation paused. The geometric shapes froze momentarily, Then began a complex reformation that suggested something close to emotional processing. Communication protocol established. Araya announced. Preliminary understanding. 42.7% successful. For the first time since the transmission began, the alien projection seemed to display what humans might interpret as curiosity. The mathematical patterns suggested a willingness to continue this extraordinary dialogue. Humanity's first genuine interstellar communication had begun, not with weapons or aggression, but with mathematics, curiosity, and a profound desire to understand. The peaceful communication suddenly transformed when the Cronus Collective's transmission changed frequency. What had been a curious mathematical exchange became a tense, almost threatening interaction. Multiple quantum probes emerged from the alien vessel, targeting the U.S. Celestial Horizon's defensive perimeters. These weren't traditional weapons, but complex energy signatures designed to test and potentially penetrate human technological defenses. Captain J. Park recognized the strategic maneuver immediately. This was a technological assessment, a probe to understand human defensive capabilities. The Cronus Collective wasn't attacking. They were evaluating. Hannah Kim's fingers moved lightning fast across her quantum shield controls. The ship's advanced defensive systems activated in layers, creating a multi-dimensional protective barrier that adapted in microseconds. Each quantum shield responded dynamically, absorbing and redirecting incoming energy signatures. Defensive protocols engaging, Araya announced. The ship's eye wasn't just defending. It was learning, analyzing the alien probing techniques and developing counter-strategies in real time. Wu Li tracked the incoming energy signatures. They were unlike anything in human combat databases, complex, non-linear attack patterns that seemed to exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. The first quantum probe struck the celestial horizon's shields. Instead of causing damage, the energy was immediately absorbed, analyzed, and then redirected. The alien transmission momentarily flickered, a sign of surprise. Captain Park understood this was a critical moment. He wasn't just defending the ship. He was communicating through technological demonstration. Each shield response was a message. Humanity was technologically sophisticated, adaptable, and prepared. The Cronus Collective's probes increased in complexity. They shifted frequencies, attempted multiple simultaneous attack vectors, and generated increasingly complex energy patterns. Each attempt was met with a precise, calculated human response. Hannah Kim realized they were engaged in a silent technological conversation. The shields weren't just defensive. They were responsive, intelligent systems that could interpret and adapt to alien technology almost instantaneously. "They're testing our limits," she reported, "but they're also studying us." Wu Li's communication algorithms worked overtime, translating the technological interaction into potential diplomatic language. Each shield response, each absorbed and redirected energy signature was becoming a form of communication. The ship's quantum shielding wasn't just blocking attacks, it was demonstrating human technological philosophy. Adaptation, intelligence, peaceful resistance, all communicated through advanced defensive technology. Captain Park made a strategic decision. Instead of purely defending, he authorized a controlled counterprobe. A single quantum signal would be sent back, not as an attack, but as a demonstration of human technological understanding. The return signal was mathematically elegant. It contained complex algorithms that didn't just reflect the alien probes, but provided additional information about human technological capabilities. It was an invitation to dialogue, wrapped in a technological package. The Cronus Collective's transmission changed. The aggressive probing slowed, then stopped entirely. The geometric shapes in their communication patterns began to shift, suggesting something close to respect or recalibration. Araya processed the interaction. Technological communication successful. Threat assessment neutralized. Diplomatic potential increasing. For 37 minutes, the U.S. Celestial Horizon and the Cronus vessel engaged in this silent technological dialogue. No traditional weapons were used. No verbal communication was exchanged. Yet, an entire negotiation had occurred through quantum signals and intelligent defensive systems. Captain Park watched the alien vessel, understanding they had just passed a critical test. Humanity had shown it wasn't just a potential target. It was a sophisticated, technologically advanced civilization, capable of intelligent interaction. The ship continued its journey, its quantum shields humming softly, a testament to human innovation, adaptability, and peaceful technological resistance. Days after the technological confrontation, a remarkable transformation occurred between humanity and the Cronus Collective. What began as a tense encounter evolved into something unexpected. A potential interstellar partnership. Captain Joe Park watched as the first collaborative communication protocols took shape. The alien geometric representations began merging with human mathematical models, creating a unique communication framework that bridged two fundamentally different civilizations. Hannah Kim's breakthrough came when she discovered a universal translation method using quantum encryption. The language wasn't just about words, but about sharing complex conceptual understanding. Each mathematical sequence became a bridge between human and alien perception. Wu Li monitored the developing communication channels. The U.S. Celestial Horizons quantum systems were now synchronizing with the Cronus Collective's transmission network. It was like watching two different musical instruments slowly learning to play in harmony. The alien representatives demonstrated something profound, a willingness to understand rather than dominate. They shared star charts of unexplored regions, suggesting potential collaborative exploration routes. This wasn't just an exchange of information, it was an invitation to a shared galactic journey. Araya, the ship's artificial intelligence, processed billions of data points. The interaction revealed that technological advancement wasn't about superiority, but about mutual understanding. Humanity wasn't just being evaluated, they were being considered as potential partners. Extraordinary details emerged about the Cronus Collective. They weren't a single species, but a collective consciousness that incorporated multiple technological civilizations. Their approach to exploration was fundamentally different from human methods, more collaborative, less competitive. Captain Park recognized the historical significance of this moment. Humanity's first genuine interstellar interaction wasn't going to be a conflict, but a partnership. The U.S. Celestial Horizon was transforming from a potential threat to a diplomatic vessel. The ship's technical specifications became a point of mutual fascination. The 12-kilometer vessel with its 50,000-person capacity demonstrated human engineering capabilities. The Cronus Collective studied every aspect: the quantum fold drive, the self-sustaining ecosystem, the adaptive quantum shielding. Collaborative mission planning began to take shape. The aliens suggested exploration routes through regions of space humans had never imagined. Complex star systems, quantum anomalies, and potential habitable zones became shared points of scientific interest. Wu Li's communication algorithms developed a new linguistic framework. It wasn't translation in the traditional sense, but a method of sharing conceptual understanding. Mathematical equations became a universal language that transcended traditional communication barriers. Hannah Kim discovered something extraordinary. The Cronus Collective's technological understanding suggested multiple potential advancements for human civilization. Quantum medical technologies, advanced energy generation methods, and complex ecological restoration techniques were hinted at during their exchanges. The self-sustaining ecosystem of the celestial horizon became a point of significant interest. With 97.3% efficiency, it represented a technological achievement that impressed the alien collective. They began sharing their own ecological management techniques, creating a potential technological exchange. Araya calculated the probability of long-term collaboration. The initial assessment was promising: a 76.4% potential for continued positive interaction. Humanity had proven its adaptability, technological prowess, and diplomatic capabilities. Captain Park understood this was more than a first contact scenario. This was the beginning of humanity's genuine entry into a larger galactic community. The mission was no longer just about finding a new home. It was about establishing human potential on an interstellar stage. As the communication continued, the geometric alien representations began to show what humans might interpret as excitement. The mathematical patterns suggested a genuine curiosity about human potential, human creativity, and human adaptability. The U.S. celestial horizon continued its journey, but now with a profound difference. It wasn't just a ship of exploration. It had become a vessel of potential interstellar diplomacy. Humanity's first steps into a larger universe were being written in quantum equations, mathematical understanding, and a shared vision of collaborative exploration. The stars ahead seemed to shimmer with new possibilities, waiting to reveal the secrets of a universe that humanity was about to explore, not alone, but as potential partners in a much larger, more complex galactic story.